All right. What up, good people? This is FSho Radio. Let's see who's all live. Coming in now. Coming in 1. You seen any of this? 2. Is Facebook tripping again? Take a look. See if you can see this. Oh, no. We got some folks. What's happening? Weigh in. Let me know what's going on. This is FSho Radio. Now, normally right now, this is the time I say he is the Cardinal. And he says whatever he going to say. What's up, Tootie? I say I am me. But, y'all boy the Cardinal is out. He's sick. Hit me with it last minute. Biggest show of the year, and he gone. He left, you know what I'm saying? But I'll say this. What's going on, Purse? I'll say this, he loves y'all. He loves doing this thing. So he must really be sick. So y'all just send him some positive energy. Don't just type in, what's up, Cardinal? What's going on, cousin? Type in, what's up, Cardinal? Hope you feel better. Send him some hate mail. Send him some love. Whatever you want to send him. You know what I'm saying? Because he left me kind of holding the bag tonight. But that's all right, because I do have y'all. I do have family. We got a bunch of stuff we going to cover. But I'm just going to let some people, kind of move on in, weigh in. Like I said, when you get here, say what's going on, say what's up. Call, say something, Purse. We miss you. You're going to definitely have to weigh in tonight. We have a new number for tonight. Cardinals out, we got another number. So I definitely want you to write this number down so you can call in. Let me just say this. I saw, no, man, I'll get to that in a minute. Call this number, 404-697-7048. Somebody want to type that in, that's cool. But 404-697-7048. All right, got a bunch of stuff we gonna get into. First he said finally caught up to him. What's going on, Lamont? Your boy in here tonight, man. We gonna hold it down. Family, I need y'all to weigh in because I just, I can't just talk at a rapid pace forever. So ain't gonna be all that wildness with your boy, but we gonna have a good time. Topics we gonna cover. Public school, private school versus homeschool. Wanna know what y'all think about that? The Women's March in D.C. and simultaneous demonstrations all over the world. Was that just a moment, or are we looking at a movement, especially with all this craziness going on with the travel ban, the orange president, all that stuff? LeBron James versus Charles Barkley. Whiny inappropriate versus a hater. I want to know what y'all feel about that. And actually, we actually really going to talk about millennials anyway versus Generation X. The majority of you on the show probably are Generation X. We have a certain age group. How do y'all feel dealing with folks of a different age group? Have you noticed the difference? More sense of entitlement? Are they all more whiny? Are they all a little more sensitive? Not sure. What's going on, Keisha? Glad to see you here with us, too. Extra just representing here tonight. I'm very happy to see that. Hometown. Love y'all. But LeBron James versus Barkley. We got some other stuff. Let me make sure I'm getting everything. Emmitt Till. The Emmitt Till confession. This woman comes out 60-some-odd years later, maybe even more than that, confessing, Emmitt Till didn't really do that stuff that, had him beat to a pulp. They tell it to the family. The family just says, we forgive her. They say, hey, it's all love. She's here. Thank you for sharing. I just about forgot. All of you that are watching this, please share. You all know we're trying to grow the show. We've been doing this for about 6 months now in this format. Please share, let some folks see it. For those of you who are just joining us, the Cardinal Dave conked out on me tonight. He's with the Postal Service. Y'all know how that goes. I don't know what he caught, but I didn't even bring in SARS or bird flu, whatever he has around me and my family. So he's medicated up. I don't know if he's going to join us online or not, but it really don't matter. What's going on, Vanessa? You finally made it. I'm glad you are here because Vanessa actually was at the Women's March, so she can kind of talk from a first-hand perspective as to what's going on there. So, without further ado, we're going to get busy. I'm going to give you all the phone line one more time. They said they knew that she was lying in the first place, Gil. In Mississippi, whether they knew or not, they still knew that them guys murdered him. They straight up knew that. And then, they let them off scot-free. But, it is what it is. New number is 404-697-7048. Again, that number is 404-697-7048. Check this out. For those of you who have been a little hesitant about sharing FSho, I'll say this. I hate that my co-host is not here. I miss him dearly. But this show, at least on my end, the language is going to be PG-13 at the most. You ain't got to worry about a whole lot of cussing and tripping on this show. You know what I'm saying? Not knocking what he does, but on this one, it's going to be a little more chill. So you can share it. If the language is a concern on the share, you can definitely do that now. All right. First topic of the day. We've been putting this off for a long time, and that's just the debate. Public school, private school, how do you share? If you're watching this on your phone, Vanessa, go right down to the right-hand corner. It says share. Press that button. Boom, it's automatically shared. Thank you, Lamont. Thank you, Keisha. Y'all help us spread this love. This FSho love. But public school, private school versus homeschool. What's better for your kids? I will say this. We're homeschooling now. What's going on, Steph? I'm homeschooling with my 5th grader now. It is completely different than it was 10, 20 years ago, for sure. You know what I'm saying? So I know we have some people on right now that have homeschool. So I'd love for you to call in or type in your comments, whatever you think. What do you think is better? For those who are big proponents of public schools. And really, for a lot of us that do love public schools, we took a big blow today because it's almost certain that Betsy DeVos is going to be, the new Secretary of Education, a person who has really went out of her way to try to destroy public schools. You know what I'm saying? So if your kids are being homeschooled right now, if your kids were homeschooled, if they weren't, if you feel one way about it or you feel the other way right now, hey, the phone line is open. Call in. Let's see. What up, though? What's going on? Strange, glad to see you here. One more time, that number is 404-697-7048. While I'm waiting on those calls to come in, I'll go into some reasons that, we decided to homeschool. I felt like my son was not kind of getting the attention he really needed in school. I think his performance was kind of suffering because the schools down here are very overpopulated. And all they really seem to care about, at least in school, all they really seemed to care about was behavior. They call home every 5 seconds they thought he did anything. You know what I'm saying? David looked at somebody wrong. So-and-so did this and that. So he's always calling for that. But I'm checking his work, and I'm looking at what he's doing. And I'm like, how is he passing? He's not really mastering basic skills, and they really didn't seem to care. And this may be a racial thing. I'm not trying to make it a racial thing, but it seems that they had lower expectations for my son than they might have for some of the other students. They had lower expectations for some of the Mexican students than they did for some of the other students. In fact, in my opinion, went so far as to almost kind of separate the classes. You had one class full of some kids looking one way. You had other classes full of kids that were looking a different way. And they were even taking different field trips. You know what I'm saying? They'd go somewhere and play some games, jump around. Other group is going to a museum, having lectures. They're doing all kind of stuff. And that stuff you really kind of don't see or know unless you go into it. And just being a former teacher, you know what I'm saying? And just talking to some of the teachers, and I'm not knocking them because they got a difficult job, but I was like, what's really his best interest? So we made the decision a couple years ago, we were going to do this, okay? And he's affiliated with a cyber academy, but we still kind of have our own curriculum. Lamont, you're exactly right. Magnet programs, gifted programs are completely different. Totally get that. But we weren't even getting access to those in the school we were in. And we're out here in Gwinnett County, supposed to be, so high profile. I taught him how to play chess, wanted him in the chess club. There was really no information on the chess club for his classes. But then you hit another class, it's like, whoa, that's all it is. Vanessa said, when did you do this? How do you know he's progressing? Does the district monitor? He's still kind of rolling off the curriculum, so we're kind of looking at it. But just for me, I've got him doing a lot of stuff outside of that. Kind of teaching critical thinking, how to write, how to analyze things instead of just memorizing stuff. Because a lot of schools just memorize, especially down here in the South. I can't say for everybody. I say the South. We got a lot of good comments coming in. At-risk kids bust in with traditional raised kids. That's exactly what they would do, but they would take the at-risk kids and put them in a whole different classroom. And like down here in the South, in Georgia, a lot of these schools have trailers. You will find this is crazy, most of the quote-unquote gifted kids or affluent kids, they have in trailers. Other kids are right inside the building. You know what I'm saying? In big overcrowded classrooms. I mean, this was one of the best schools in the state. His teacher used to have a megaphone straight up screaming at them most of the day. So I just saw a difference in treatment. And I was like, I got to get him out of here. Steph, that's a great question. How much of a difference have I seen? Some of this is just my son. So he's got to work a little harder, but he understands the expectations that are put on him now. And it is really just kind of, he's been, in my opinion, he's been allowed to go one way for so long, is trying to break those habits. Trying to get him to embrace some responsibility. I don't put that all on him, because in all honesty, it's generational. Y'all are shooting so many questions. I love it. I love it. Let me just get back. How much of a difference have you seen? Okay, got that was that. I do see a huge difference, but that's because we're able to monitor it. We had to adjust our work schedules to do that. I see Tracy's here. Tracy, definitely weigh in. Steph says, I wasn't homeschooled, but I definitely benefit from having a father as a teacher. Both my brothers became teachers as well. My parents are educators too. You know, my father tried his best to kind of steer me away from it, but I find myself coming right back to it. It's almost like that's something you kind of born into. So as that, you really kind of see, and just a bit from being a teacher, you can kind of tell certain things, you know, that a lot of times, the teachers I've had here try to make it seem, okay, I'm way off subject. He had a 4th grade teacher, and he did I'm showing how Egypt's in Africa, all this stuff. He went to school and said this, and this teacher argued with him that Egypt wasn't in Africa. Want to tell him no, I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, really, literally, you have a degree and this is what it is? So the South is a little bit different than what I'm accustomed to on some levels, you know. I do think public schools can be great. I just think you got to find, at least here, the right school for your kid. The right situation for your kid. And that one size fits all doesn't necessarily always work for me. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Lamont, Common Core standards have a lot of analyzing. I agree with that, man. I do. But a lot of them still, you know, down here, man, a lot of teachers. I'm not saying every district, because I really do like DeKalb County. I like a lot of schools I've seen. But a lot of it's about teaching to the test and kind of hurting my kid off. Okay, so let's see. Teacher has to implement correctly. Absolutely. Thoughts and social intersections for homeschooling. Exactly. What's going on, Lisa? Good to see you. Appreciate you as always. Yo, okay. How long will you all continue to homeschooling? We're going to see, you know, because work schedules are going to change again. I really, you know, and honestly, one more thing about him. Down here, they really believe in that you don't start kindergarten until you're 5 years old. So what was happening is he was, you know, really almost like, because he's got a September birthday, 6 years old, I'm sorry. First, he was a lot younger, you know, both physically and maturity-wise than a lot of the children his age. So that kind of combined in it, too. So, like, you know, getting him back around students his age. And we still involve him in a bunch of social activities. He does a lot of sports, a lot of activities, a lot of friends. You know, I think it's kind of worked out good. Antonio weighed in. I agree. Some teachers acted more like babysitters and spent very little time teaching here in Detroit anyways. I'm going to tell you my experience in Detroit. You know, 7th grade, went to Christ the King School. I think they're gone now. It was right over across from Redford High School. I pretty much had a math teacher who I was doing fairly well in math before then. She pretty much just gave up on math this time. She didn't say I'm not going to teach this, but she spent all her time talking about how glad she was out of Detroit Public Schools. So we played games all year. All year long we played games, and it really put me behind in math. And it really affected me all through high school because it turned me off when I got to 8th grade and all these students are far more advanced. I'm like, dang, I do not know this stuff, you know. So some of it is just me as a teacher coming from a background where I do want that, you know what I'm saying? Some not. Lamont, I really want you to call in because you got some great comments. I taught in Detroit for 10 years, had amazing results. You in Southwest Detroit. I know for a fact you're an amazing teacher. I know that. That's something I know. But I also know that's not the case with every teacher. And it's not me knocking teachers because I'm pro-teacher all the way. I'm just saying a lot of parents, and not the ones, obviously you all weighing in, but a lot of parents need to be a lot more involved or proactive when it comes to their children. You know, a lot of parents just happy, oh, you ain't got no D's, needs, you good. And a lot of these teachers know that. And they're going to just let you, at least here, they'll just give you what you got to go by. But for a fact, man, Lamont, you made learning fun. I worked in the program with you. You were teaching adults. You were making math fun. You were whiz. You kind of like the dude that's getting all the props right now, Barry White. You were early on doing that. So I totally know what you're saying. It's a very hard job. It's a job that does not get, you know, the acclaim, pay that it deserves. But it's something that's very, very needed. So, you know, my decision to homeschool, there's a lot of different ways to do it, really works. Rena, another great teacher. You know, okay, a lot of us went to Eastern Michigan, which is the education school, but she says, I'm in Southwest Detroit. I love my babies. I got some colleagues, though, that are intimidated by parents and give in so they don't have to deal with parents. Check this out, y'all. I'm going to say this number slow because those who are in the game, you got a whole lot more you can put to it. 404-697-7048. Call the number. 404-697-7048. What's going on, Ty? Hey, Keisha, you homeschooled as well for a couple years. Tell us your experiences there, too. And actually, Keisha is one of my actual former students. You know, great student. Loved having her in class. But call in. Share your experiences. I know you typing. I know that's there. What's up, Satanya? Good to see you. Let us know what's going on. What do you think? You know, I definitely want him to go to a regular high school. I do. You know, because I want him to what's up, Wendy? Another talented person here for sure. I want him to go to a high school. So I do want him to get that experience. Middle school, I'm not sure. Steph asked a great question. Why are teachers intimidated by parents? Because in some schools, you got some parents coming up to acting a fool on the maybe lower income level. I know on a more affluent level, these teachers intimidate. I mean, the parents intimidate the teachers. They have so much more money. They got so much more clout. And down here, there's no unions. And a lot of times, you know, I'm going to just speak from the schools I know about, the principal will kind of leave you out to dry. You know, and it's like the more affluent kids tend to get away with a whole lot more because the principals don't want no static. Nobody wants no static, so they just kind of go along and get along. You know, but again, this is not a one-person show. He's 11th time. Call in. Call in. Raina hit a real good point, especially in a tough area. Some parents come in with their own experiences and don't want to work with teachers. Or they want to put everything on the teacher. Like it's up to the teacher to just do everything for the kid. Not thinking about the fact the teacher may have 30 in a classroom, 30 to 40. Not a lot of resources, not a lot of books. You spend, if you work in a 50-minute period, you may spend a whole lot of time just trying to get everything in order, you know? Then all of a sudden you got kids coming and going. You got kids missing days. You got parents not being responsible when it comes to different things. So there's a lot there. Teachers may not have the paperwork on the kids, right? Absolutely. And they may not have the paperwork. You got children coming and going so much. Not working with the teachers hurts the kids. It absolutely does. How do you call in? It's the time you call 404-697-7048. 404-697-7048. Our producer put teachers who see it as a paycheck. I'm going to say this from the perspective of a teacher. I don't know teachers who start off seeing it as a paycheck. I don't. I do know teachers who really stuck their neck out there and really try, and they get beat back so much, you get to a point where you get burnt out. Especially when, I'm going to say, as a black male in a very low-income school, as a teacher on the east side of Detroit, you almost looked at to be the father for everything. And that can work for like a year. That might could work for 2, but eventually it's going to drain you. You're trying to get every kid a coat. Make sure everybody's just answering everybody's stuff. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot we need to do. And I really love the fact that Lamont, he's commenting on Lamont, right? Lamont, I don't know if you still do, but he worked with younger children. He caught them earlier. And a lot of times they may not even see a male teacher till, you know, middle school, sometimes high school, you know? So Tanya's going to call with the perspective of a principal. Please do. We need that too. One more time, y'all, because maybe somebody could type this in. 404-697-7048. 404-697-7048. Come on in. Call. I'm going to put you on. I'm going to put you on because I don't have all the answers. I really want to learn. You know what I'm saying? I want to learn from what you all had to say. One more time, if you're just tuning in for Show Radio, Cardinal Dave could not be with us tonight. He just sold me out on our biggest night. Thanks, Steph. On our biggest night as far as topics, but call in. Raina, call in. Lamont, call in. Keisha, call in. Oh, well, I know you're in Highland Park. Okay. Oh, you know, we're going to get some calls in for sure. Well, I know Highland Park District, you know, it has its challenges. So definitely give us a call on some of this. You got it on. Producers got the phone lines waiting, ready to go. I don't think y'all want to move on from this, but if you do, we can. We got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. But the homeschooling for me it's had its challenges, but overall, I definitely see the difference. It also brings, you know, it brings the parent and child closer, in my opinion. So a lot of times, you know, I know coming up for the most part, we were latchkey kids. You know, well, at least I was. You know, parents are always working. They were in and out, you know, but they still, man, you know, I knew what I had to do. You know, and I pretty much, I did it. My sisters did a little more than me. But checking on him every day, setting expectations for him, making him kind of, I don't want to say making it, but kind of really forcing him to really understand, okay, this is what you need to do. And combining his curriculum with life skills, because a lot of that's what I do. I'm looking at life skills. It helps a whole lot. Okay, looks like we got a call in now. Put on speaker.
Yeah, Rena.
Got Rena? Okay. Hey, what's up, Rena? Go and weigh in.
Hey, I love public education. I love homeschooling. Homeschool starts first. I love it, and I just love it. Love it. I appreciate the support with teachers.
Absolutely. Now, you're a teacher now, right?
No, I'm in administration.
Oh, you're in administration. I'm sorry. You're a former teacher. Okay. What's your perspective? Because when you said a lot of times parents bring their experience, you know, some parents bring their experience to school that can be negative, you know, just speak on that a little bit.
Well, I work in Southwest Detroit, and my experience is now, because my kids don't speak English, and we have the African-American kids who speak English, they tend to bully the other kids.
Mm-hmm.
So they, you know, it's tax time. Everybody getting their little money in. They seem to think they're better than people, so they're going to come in and tell me how to do my job. And I've been doing this for a long time.
Absolutely.
And I don't have all the answers. I do not. And I'll never tell you what I do. I'm willing to hear you out, come to a compromise, see what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not bringing anything to the table about your kid, test scores, their likes, their dislikes, you have to be willing to listen to me to tell me this is where they're at, this is how we're going to work, this is what we can do. I just can't take all the beratement, the negativity that parents come into the building with. Parents, observers, different teachers from different districts. I mean, we can be hard on ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
The data, and you're right, we're teaching to the test because I need my job. I love my babies, but some of my babies not going to pass this test.
Right,
like
right.
Out of the 40 kids in my class, I got to make sure 21 of them do so I can come back next year.
Absolutely. You know, down here they put some teachers in jail or threaten them with it. You know what I'm saying? Over those same tests that they force them to, you know, to teach to. Then they kind of turn on. This is Atlanta Public Schools. But you made some...
We have to show growth. We have to show if A and B don't work, then C. Even if the child doesn't come to school every day of the week, even if the child doesn't get breakfast, it's all on the teacher. Some parents drop them off at the door, and you don't see them till it's time to go.
Absolutely.
They don't come to parent-teacher conference. They don't know how to tie their shoe. They don't know their mama's real name. They don't know how to call them if we got to go home early. There's just some things that need to be taught at home.
Absolutely.
And I'm all for it. Staying at home till like 6 or 7 years old and teaching them the fundamentals and the basics, how to talk to people, wear your manners, blowing your nose right, covering your face up. Just simple things that can be learned at home.
Preach. Excellent. Man, that is great. Thank you so much. So, Tanya, you call on back. Just hitting the voicemail. We have some technical stuff. Appreciate you. That's what we saying. Teacher, now administrator. We got some more. We just waiting on you. Please weigh in. Please weigh in. You know, and I really love hearing for those in the trenches, those parents, those aunts, those uncles, those teachers, those administrators from every side. You know, I found homeschool to be beneficial. I'm not going to lie and say it's easy. At least for us, it has not been easy because the way it's set up for us with the curriculum, he still has a classroom. You know, he wakes up in the morning, turns on the laptop. He's got a cyber classroom. He works with his classmates. They have different classes. And then, you know, he's got some more time during the day. And we, you know, we do a lot of stuff to supplement it. A whole lot of stuff to supplement it. Got another call? Oh, for sure. Excellent. We got some time here. Go away in.
What you want to know?
Wherever you want to take us. Homeschool, public school, from the perspective of a principal, wherever you want to go.
Well, I have a perspective from K through 8 and then 9 through 12 as an assistant principal, as a teacher, all of the above. But as far as a teacher is concerned, me being a teacher, it's been over 10 years since I've been in the classroom, but I had over 40 students. It's called classroom management skills, called higher order skills that we need to be teaching our kids.
Uh-huh.
And I understand you don't pass that test, you may get fired or whatever the case may be, but if you teach them what they need to know and show them how to answer questions, the kind of questions that are being put out there, it's called sight words, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need to do. You don't have to teach to the test, because I can't stand when people say teach to the test.
Mm-hmm.
It's called sight words. It's called learning how to write a paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
It's called, I can't even begin.
Tell me this. How can parents, because we got a lot of parents listening, how can parents better prepare their kids?
As parents, be there for them. I know it's hard to help them do their homework, because I can barely do the math that they do now.
For real.
But the fundamentals, as far as reading, writing, handwriting, talking to your child like they are a person, a human being, instead of babying them. They're not your friends. They're your children. But making sure you get the respect and give the respect and get that ass whooped, excuse my expression.
No, that's real.
If they need it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As far as generation that we have now, as a principal, I was a principal for the students that I had in the 7th and 8th grade. Their parents now, they were sending them they came to my school because they knew me as a person, because they knew that of my kids. And when I was in Highland Park, when I was in River Rouge, all my kids knew that I had a good heart, and that when they came in my room, I have a resting face type ordeal. They knew if I'm smiling, it's going to be a good day. If I'm not, you sit yourself down, you be ready to learn.
Absolutely.
But as far as called cooperative learning skills and working together, we used to be out in the hallway working on projects and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to sit at the desk. They don't have to sit at the desk.
Right.
Work together. I didn't believe in sitting in desks. I would move the desk out and we'd be in the middle or out in the hallway somewhere doing something.
Keeping them active and involved.
Back to the principal part.
Okay.
Now, as far as being intimidated, parents can be intimidated and they can try to, but knowing that I have a heart and knowing who I am, it's not all about the degrees that I have or anything like that. Who cares? It's called being caring for kids and having an open door policy. Yes, I've had plenty of parents that want to come in and beat me down. But when I stand my ground, they know I'm taking care of their kids from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Wow.
They know that their kids are in good hands. But that was just me as a person. So I was at Barber Focus School in Highland Park. So I'm on one end, and then I was on another end where the high school was. But the whole community, getting out there, knowing the community as a principal, that's what you're supposed to do. That's why you have parent involvement, having meetings.
Right.
Bring those parents in and tell them about themselves first and foremost, so that they know where you from, how you work, the open door policy. Give it to them straight at the beginning. You're going to have that respect the whole time.
Stick to it. Got
you. Still got some that want to bring their cousins and their aunties and their brothers and their sisters up there because they mad at you because of something that they did, and their child can't do no wrong in their eyes because that's their friend.
Right.
But your child, as me as a child, my daddy never put nothing past me because he knew he had to think about it to see if I did it. And you know me.
Yeah,
so,
you already know.
That's concerned. He knew. But as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to kids, and plus we got a lot of grandparents that are teaching that have the kids now also. So it's a different breed. It's a different type of family background now.
Right.
Because the younger parents, again, and like I said, you can be ratchet, you can be whatever, but as long as I'm taking care of your child, do whatever.
Exactly.
Just trust that that's what I'm here for. That's all I ask.
All right, them great points.
And as far as, huh?
So them great points. I got to wrap it on up. I got a couple more calls, but I thank you for weighing in. And come back and we kick it on his business.
You go to
all right. Thank you.
I love you, and I'll see you later.
For sure. Love you too.
See you later.
Yep. She hit on a lot of points, y'all. You know, anybody else? Lamont, I see he typed in never a desk. I can attest to that brother gets down. I went, you know, and did a couple Black History programs at Stone Mountain Elementary School maybe 4 or 5 years ago. His kids were excited. He's one of the math teachers I can't stand math, but he makes me excited about math. So there's a lot of good teachers out there, but back to the homeschooling, there's a lot of resources. Even if you don't necessarily want to homeschool full time, there's things you can do to work with your kids, okay? So that's there. Please feel free to comment. I will move on to the next one. This one is near and dear to my heart. Happened a couple weeks ago. Day after Trump's inauguration, women stood up and showed out. Not saying all women, because 53% did vote for him, not the ones that voted. But there was a ton of stuff that went down in D.C., in Michigan, all over the world. I mean, I enjoyed y'all too, Lamont. All over the world. And I want you all, I'm asking this question, and we got some people right now in our audience who actually were there. Was this just a moment? Was this a moment to put on the hats and go off about a lot of stuff? Or do you all feel this is a movement? I do truly think, my opinion, that this new president is doing so much to antagonize folks that it may just become that. But for those who are there, if you want to call in, give us your impression. If you weren't there and you got an opinion on it, that's good too. I obviously wasn't there. Not a woman either, but I do, you know, hey, brothers, sisters, women, love you, support you. What do y'all think about all of it? And even more specifically, for the Black women, I mean, did you feel like that represented your interests? Do you sometimes feel a cross between having to choose, but am I Black or am I female? I'm just asking because I don't know. Do you sometimes feel like a lot of your issues are kind of put to the side when you're dealing with feminists? I don't know. You know, these are just stuff I want to throw out. But what I really want to know what you all think. Is it a moment or is it starting a movement? Needs to put down moving towards a movement. I feel that. Then my next question would be, what's next? You know, if that's there. Tanya said, go to the Department of Education in your state for information on homeschooling. Very valuable advice. Very valuable advice. She said, we got a laptop. There's monies available to you, whatever state you're in, if you do choose to homeschool. Know that your child can participate in sport, or at least I'm going to speak for Georgia. You can still participate in sports at that neighborhood school. You can still be involved in different things. You don't necessarily have to go there. But any insight on the Women's March? Anybody want to speak on that? Going once. Going twice. What now? Our producer saying something. What now?
Why is it near and dear to you?
She said, why is it near and dear to me? It's near and dear to me, honestly, from a Black perspective. Not saying I'm not for all women, but Black women as a whole, who I know, in my opinion, stumped the hardest for that Democratic candidate, who stumped the hardest, who there's a list of things that happened to us as a people. And it was near and dear to me because I'm about the activism. So I got far more love for people that's, you know, not just sitting around typing or talking their opinion, you know, on the job, and actually getting out and doing something or being moved to do something. I love to see that. I love to see action. You know, so that's why it would be near and dear to me. So Tiny put start of a movement. You know, I really truly hope it is. I really truly hope it is. All right. Well, you know, we hit y'all with some heavy topics. We're gonna move on to unless I see something coming. LeBron versus Charles Barkley. What's going on? You know, I know we switching speeds, but for a lot of the sports folks, okay. Oh, Lisa put, I think the March Friday opportunity said I told you so. Yeah, that's it. That's in there too. But I'll back this up a little bit. Now, I know the Super Bowl weekend. You know, I'm down here in Atlanta. I'm still a Lions fan to the core, but the city's going crazy. The city's excited about these Falcons. But Black women think ahead. Okay, we started to get some comments. Black women think ahead. I think that's a beautiful thing. You know, I think if you are, and I don't mean Black women came with an agenda, a focused agenda, we get behind it. We get behind it all the way. Because you make things happen when you want to make things happen. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So I'll hold LeBron on for a minute. Vanessa says the moment was the beginning of a movement. There were not many movements that look like, not many women look like me there. I think there's representative of which occurred on November 8th. We did not show up. Okay, let's see. Contrary to what someone had you believe, this was not about Trump. You know what? Vanessa, call in. Because you were there and you could speak to this better than, I can. Call in. 404-697-7048. 404-697, I'm saying right, 697-7048. Lines to the day I die, absolutely. But you know what, y'all? It feels good to actually live in a city where the team is going to the Super Bowl. I know that might sound crazy. Don't even live. If the Lions ever go to the Super Bowl, oof, that's a whole nother show. Wherever they play, I'm going to be there. Don't care. Sleep outside. I'm going to be there for that. Nisha says, we know shade and saw the shade coming. We lived in darkness for generations, so we know when the clouds are rolling in. So true. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm waiting on you, Vanessa. Call on in if you can. I know sometimes it's a little technical as far as all this goes, but yeah, I really do hope it's the part of a movement. And we, you know what, we'll try to get the Cardinal, when he comes back, we'll try to get some guests that actually are involved in this kind of things to go from there. For those who are in Michigan, Vanessa Mars Wilson, someone you should know. She's got a show on Superstation 9:10 a.m. Congressional candidate. She will be a congresswoman. The number is 404-697-7048. Say it slower. 404-697-7048. But yeah, let's see what this is. Okay. All right, Panther Nation. I hear you. 11 days ago, LeBron James, who we can acknowledge probably is the greatest player in the NBA. We got a call from there? All right. I'll hold up on the LeBron Barkley thing, but it is a trip.
Vanessa.
FSho Radio, what's going on, Vanessa?
Hey.
Hey.
How are you, dear?
I'm doing great. Right on in. Oh, you can go right in. Talk to him.
Oh.
The topic we talk about, is it a moment or is it a movement? And you were there, so if you could speak on that. Steph, I don't like him either.
It was definitely the beginning of a movement. I was there at the march. Can you hear me?
Yep. You know what? You may want to turn that one down because you're getting the feedback. There's a little bit of a delay. So turn that one down.
Is
Yep.
that better? Better?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Yeah. In my opinion, it was definitely the beginning of a movement. Since the march on the day after the inauguration, there are a lot of groups that have evolved. I am a part of at least 4 women groups that are very socially active, active in marches, getting active in political action political action committees. People have, there's a group of us that are we're having a Michigan Democratic convention next weekend. People who are never even members of a party are planning on going to this convention next week. So I definitely think it is a movement. There's this organization called Indivisible, and what they're doing is using the same...
That playbook from the Tea Party.
Exactly.
Yeah, know about that.
There are groups of us. I mean, I met with 2 groups last week. We actually sat down, did the postcards, and mailed them out. Now, what I will say is this, and it may be because of the region that I live in, I don't know, but there are not a whole lot of brown faces that are really active.
This is Metro Detroit?
Metro Detroit.
So for those who are there listening, Metro Detroit, this may be somebody she can put some information up. You could talk to, get involved, or tell other people. Paul, I know you here. This may be something that may work.
Absolutely. So, no, I don't believe it was just a moment. This is definitely movement because, as you said earlier, we have a president of the United States that's doing things that not only is illegal, but very dangerous.
Okay.
Very dangerous. And for people to say, well, these kind of issues don't affect us, let me tell you something.
I think it's the narrative that has surrounded some issues. For instance, Planned Parenthood. People say, well, why do black folks, support Planned Parenthood? Well, I could say this. When I was a college student, Planned Parenthood was very important. I was able to get my pap smear. I was able to get my birth control pills. I was able to go to Planned Parenthood to address my needs.
Okay.
So, yes, it's very important, especially when you're in school and you don't have money. Although now kids can stay on their parents' insurance until 26, but we don't know how long that's going to last.
Our producers agreeing with you.
For people to say that these are issues that don't affect us as black people or brown people, I think it's totally ridiculous. The same with the Affordable Care Act. It directly impacts black folks. I'm a black woman. I am self-employed. And at one point in time, I could not afford to pay for medical insurance.
Okay.
Now I can. And there are a lot of people that are just like me. So most of the issues do impact us.
Okay.
But I think that a lot of us are apathetic.
Yeah. So we trying to change that. But you know what? Go on and plug your show. You're on every Saturday morning at what time?
Oh, yeah. I am on 9:10 a.m., which is called the Superstation. From 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, I am the co-host of the Adolph Mongo Show, Detroit in Black and White. There is no gray. I will be on there tomorrow morning. We will be paying tribute to Black History Month all month.
All right.
So I invite people to call in and to listen in. You can stream it. You can 9:10 a.m. Superstation. You can get it on the internet. You can watch us live, or you can always call in. I can't remember the telephone number, so I can't.
All right. We appreciate it. Thank you. You just shared some great information with us. I appreciate you. Keep on listening. We about to have a little fun now. Thanks, Vanessa.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Hey, for those who just joined, I see Mike just popped in. What's going on, brother? The Cardinals out. Hit me last minute. I can't make it. Then you got some bird flu, SARS, whatever. I didn't want to come in infecting my family, so he's out. But we still got a bunch of topics we're going to get to, okay? So Vanessa's got some great information. You all, she may be typing in 9:10 a.m. For those of you who are there, please do, okay? Moving on to this LeBron James versus Charles Barkley. I really call it Generation Y and Millennials versus Generation X. We're going to talk about all that anyway. This is what went down. Now, I mentioned a little earlier he was the best player on the planet right now. Some of that I'm saying, what's going on, Mike? I'm saying just to be polite. He's not my favorite. I don't like him. I don't like Cleveland for the most part, but I do acknowledge his greatness. I do. They get blew out by New Orleans. He's mad, makes the comments about how they need to get some more players, blah, 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 this and that. Now, granted, they already won a championship. Granted, he's playing with two of the best players in the world, blah, blah, blah. So Charles Barkley gets on, and, people got their feelings about Charles Barkley. He says, man, the comments were inappropriate and whiny. You done won a championship, but you just want everybody. You just don't want to compete, okay? Charles said that right or wrong. LeBron gets all in his feelings and just kind of goes off on Charles personally. Talks about, well, look, I'm LeBron James. I ain't never spit on a kid, which Barkley did, kind of accidentally. I never threw a dude through a window. I never said I'm not a role model. I didn't have an unpaid debt in a Vegas casino, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to bite my tongue. I'm LeBron James. There's a new sheriff in town. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. LeBron does do a whole lot of good stuff, and I do respect him as a man. I respect him as a player. But I just think, my opinion, you call Barkley a hater for all that, because that's all a lot of them do. I just think he got way into his feelings about a legitimate criticism. And I think if you the self-proclaimed king, or you call yourself the king, you got to work with it, because there's a whole lot of players out there that don't even have the help you have. So I don't know if all you've seen this. It's been back and forth through the sports world about this. And Barkley was like, look, it ain't nothing personal. This is how I feel. I didn't attack him, Oh, I just read sometimes you put Jordan as the greatest of all time. As a Pistons fan, I will never give Jordan no love. Ever. Ever. But if I had picked between him and don't matter. But the back and forth continues, which kind of brings us to a larger thing. We comment on Barkley, we comment on LeBron, but for those who are out here of a certain age, I say maybe 35 and up, do you see a difference in folks 30 and under adults, you know what I'm saying, 30 and under and 35 and up. Do you see a difference in these millennials? I'm going to say because I've worked with a lot of, what's going on, Mel? I've worked with a lot of millennials. I do see a huge difference in their expectations, their sense of, you know, what I'm going to do, what I'm not going to do, and kind of the old school. I do think a lot of us in Generation X, and I'm just going to say people 35 to 50, we kind of right in between the middle because we're not super old school. Like the old school folks just work your job no matter what, I ain't going to leave, blah, blah, blah. But we not super new school, like, okay, this job needs to do this and this and this for me, or I'm not going to like it. What do you all think about these millennials? Percy, I know you're not saying, hell yeah, the Jordan being the best of all time. You bet not be. What's going on, Mel? Because you Detroit, too. No straight up Detroiter better be giving him that. Vanessa says King James and Barkley are both white. And yes, there's a difference with millennials. What you all think, Mel? I know you work with a whole lot of millennials, too. Folks, 30 and under. What is the difference in millennials and our generation? What do y'all think? Is this all just in my head? I don't think so, really, truly. The last couple jobs I've worked, I've had people come in, and I'm going to say they had a list of demands, but it's like, hey, they quick to leave a job. Or they quick to tell them what they're not going to do. Or they quick to be like, no, this is not in my job description. And a lot of the jobs they're looking for just wow to me. It's like, well, what you mean they won't let me get 3 weeks off? What do you mean they're not going to pay me so-and-so such as? What do you mean? And they have that expectation, and in some ways, it kind of works out for them. It's kind of good, right? I don't know. What y'all think? Like I said, I don't want to do all this talking. What do you all think? Let me tell you, this is your first time listening to FSho Radio. We're a family. We're a family. So just as I'm sitting here talking, that's cool, but you know what I'm saying? Everybody's opinion is equal. Keisha, I've been waiting on you. Give us a call. Give us a call. Just speak your mind or whatever. Melvin Hitter, he said, we got whoopings, they got timeouts. Kind of, sort of. Person, they want everything and don't want to work for nothing. I mean, you know, that is true of some. I mean, you know, but at the same time, we're supposed to have a generation like that too, for real. And if people always gave you stuff, I'll say this, and I see this even with my son, I hate the fact they give all these kids a trophy. I hate the fact they really don't cut folks from teams no more. I hate the fact they try to shelter them from all disappointment. So when they actually are disappointed, they can't handle it. Like there's a lot of people I know that's kind of doing management now. They say, you know, a worker might miss work, you know, a younger worker, their parent might call in. Well, so-and-so can't be here today. And such can't be here today. Student I was working with when I was at DeVry a couple years ago, she skipped out on her job. You know what I'm saying? She went out, told him he was sick. She went to party. She posted pictures all on Facebook. Goes back to work. She worked in the mall somewhere. And they fired her. She said, well, how could they do that? That's not right for them to be on my Facebook page. And they can't do that and blah, blah, blah. And she was like genuinely upset about this. I'm like, dude, you posted what you were going to do, you know? So I don't know, you know. One thing I'm very glad my generation, we didn't have all this social media. We didn't have all these phones. We didn't have all these cameras. Because if we did, things probably would a whole lot different for a whole lot of people. So I'm really glad we didn't have all that there, you know. But what do y'all think? Mike says, millennials respect a lot, they give little. Percy says, speak. Percy, you need to call way in. Melvin said, we read books, they read from the internet. Books are very rapidly becoming a thing of the past, at least the physical copy of the books. That's very true. That's very true. I'm going to throw it out one more time, Percy, because I know you got a lot to say. 404-697-7048. If y'all want to speak on the LeBron thing, if you want to speak on the millennial thing, y'all tell me. Once again, hey, it's Friday, February 3rd. Colonel Dave can't be here tonight. What I need you all to do, if you're on here right now, press share. Share this video. Ain't a whole lot of cussing tonight. You know what I'm saying? We trying to grow that audience. So this is the time you can do it. This is a show you can say, hey, check this out. This is a real good show. Listen to it every Friday, and you should too. So press that little share button on your phone. Get that thing out here. For those who have shared, I appreciate you all. Appreciate you for real. Okay? Looks like we're going to have a lot of movement on the too much texting and social media. Same time I ask y'all to share. It's very true. It's very true. You go out now, you'll see like 4 young ladies walking in a restaurant, right? They're walking in or wherever they wait in their seats, everybody's on their phone. Everybody's in their own world. Well, yeah, I mean, adults or producers win everything, you know. The crazy thing, you'll go out and people are so busy trying to record the moment, they don't ever enjoy the moment, you know. I know you want to take some pictures, but you ain't got to take 500 pictures when you go out. Take a picture of your meal, picture of the door, picture of the car, picture of you. Like, it's like a photo shoot everywhere you go. But am I just showing my age? You know, am I the only one that feels that way? Don't know. But we'll move on, weigh in. Give y'all a second. Appreciate you, Lamont, for sharing us again. Oh, no doubt. I most definitely will, Satani. Most definitely will. Shoot me your number, though, so can. Quickly, and this is more of a, I'll just go into it. You all already, you know the situation with Emmitt, right? You know, this 13-year-old boy from Chicago, right? When you from Chicago, where is he? I know he's from up north, visiting down in Mississippi. Apparently, wolf whistled or flirted with some white lady. Goes home, you know, the next night, man, or I don't know if it was that night, you know. 2 men came out there, dragged him out the house, beat him to a pulp, just weighed his body down, threw him in a river. I mean, it was quite obvious. Everyone in town knew who did it, knew they was associated with the Klan. Just beat him beyond recognition. His mother, a very brave woman, you know, going to the funeral, was like, no, I want the world to see what they did to my son. So they open casket him, and I mean, it was just horrible. One of the things that really sparked, you know, the civil rights movement. You know what I'm saying? So now the lady behind all this now admits 60 years later she lied. And that's all in her memoirs, a book that's coming out, so she's actually going to make money from it. You know? What do y'all think about that? Well, they went to Emmitt Till's family, and one of his cousins just said, you know, he forgave her. He felt she was brave for stepping forward, and he praised her for doing that because he can imagine how living 60 years or maybe 60-some-odd years with that might have affected her, you know? What do y'all think about that? I really want to know, because I'm going to hold back what I'm going to say, because I want to know what you all think on this Emmitt Till thing. It was just, I don't know if this has even crossed, you know, your mind. Melvin did bring a good point. Our teachers disciplined us. Teachers now would be sued. Yes, they would. They would. Without a doubt. I remember that paddle used to hang up, and they let you have it. But Emmitt Till. Mike says, man, that white lady lied. She needs to go to jail. Y'all think she needs to go to jail?
Yep.
You know, her husband, very sad, Lamont, I agree. I guess it was her husband. And, brother, you know, it was known they murdered him, went to trial, got them off. Mike says our whole race is affected. Lamont says it's sad. It's beyond sad. Let me ask y'all a question, because this is really, you know, kind of what I'm fishing for. And maybe this is just kind of my journey in life, too, where I'm thinking 2 years ago, 1 year ago, I would have been pissed at the cousin for talking about how he forgave her. And what is you doing? We always forgiving something. We always forgiving. Now for me, I'm realizing, you know, how difficult it is to live with hate. Live with anger. Now, I straight up think she need to go to jail. There ain't no question there. I totally believe she needs to be prosecuted right now. But I think it's good that the family can move on. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that because that kind of hate will cripple you. That kind of hate will stunt your growth. That kind of hate will block you from getting what you're supposed to get from this universe. And that's a whole different story, you know. But I just want y'all's opinion on it. Now, I know if the Cardinal was here, y'all know he was sitting right beside me right now. Y'all already know he'd be cussing up a storm on this. Vanessa said something I think a lot of people feel. Man, whatever. She's looking to get paid. He paid with his life. Lock her up. Lock her up. I ain't got no problem there. Lock her up. I'm just saying the ability of that family to forgive. Because I'm going to be honest with you, even this summer. Hold it. When was South Carolina? That was last summer, right? Last summer, when Jen LaRue murdered those folks in South Carolina, and then they go to the arraignment, and the family's already forgiving him for the, you know, horrific things he put on. I did not understand where they were coming from at all. I'm like, why we always got to forgive? What is that about? And, you know, just as life goes, I look at it different. I'm not faced with that. Because I know if it was really, truly my family like that, I don't know where I'd be. But I understand it a little bit better. You know, I don't know. Again, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? You just tuning in. My man's not here today. You know, he kind of carries this. I can just imagine. Y'all send him some love. He's real sick because, you know, he lives for these days. He lives to weigh in. But I'm going to give you the number again. Mike, I want to hear from you, man. You got some good points. 404-697-7048. One more time. 404-697-7048. Dante, you in the barbershops. I know y'all all just looking, kicking it. If somebody in the shop got something to say, let them weigh in. Let them weigh in. Say it ain't cool that rappers like Lil Wayne use Emmitt Till in their rap. Yeah, depending on the context of using them, I agree. Melvin Striker Pose, you know, that's his thing. I let him just say that. That's the Cardinals catchphrase for those of you all who, you know. Turn the other cheek. I'm tired of that too. I hear you, man. I do. But can that hate just get in you and just, you know, just mess you up, make you sick, make you physically ill? You know, I ain't saying don't do that. I'm definitely not about that. You definitely want to respond. But I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to imagine having to live 60 years with just hating someone who got away with something would drive you crazy too. Maybe it's something to that. Maybe there's 60 years punishment. Maybe not. I don't know. She still need to be prosecuted. But, you know, the people who actually did it got off. You know, she just lied. So I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm not sure. But anything else on that? All right, move on. What's the next time? What else I got?
What was it? Trump?
We had Trump. What's going on, Paula, all the way from Hawaii, from that 50th state? You need to go back and listen to some of this because we talk about teaching, all that stuff. I know that's what you do. You would definitely enjoy it. And my man ain't here today. But Cardinals topic that he really wanted to go in on, I'm going to make sure he does this next week. I don't want to steal any of his thunder. Why Black History Month is a sham. He wants to talk about why Black History Month is a sham, and I don't even know what he's going to say. But I know it's going to be, you know, interesting to say the least. So for sure, you know, we'll get into that then. I'll hold that off. We'll hold off Trump presenting, you know, the black folks together for, I guess it's now African American History Month. Is that it? He's changed that? Whatever on that. Some of y'all going to disagree with me. I don't believe that every black person that stands next to Trump is quote-unquote a sellout or a coon. I think it's way too much coon calling, and people don't even necessarily really know what that definition even is, you know. A guy tweeted something yesterday that I reshared. He was like, if Trump today gave every black person reparations, it'd be some folks calling everybody who took those reparations coons. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I do understand the feelings of disgust toward this man. Don't think I don't get that. I do understand anybody saying I ain't got nothing to do with him, nothing to do with their party. They disrespect our president, I'm going to disrespect him too. I understand that too. But also, in my, you know, the way I kind of look at it, it is what it is right now. We got to get some stuff done. If you can do something to help yourself, help your family, help your people, do it. Do it. You know, you can do that and have integrity. I don't think, you know, that's just my opinion on it though. But hey, it's been real. We got to run, but before we go, again, we down here in Atlanta. The Falcons have made the Super Bowl. I ain't going to lie to you. The Falcons made me zero difference because I'm straight Lions all the way, but I'm happy to see the city happy. And Atlanta being such a black city, it reminds me of my home city and what would happen if the Lions ever sniffed the Super Bowl, you know? So it's feeling good. The weather's good. Who y'all think gonna win? I'll give you my prediction here. Who's gonna win the Super Bowl? The Falcons or the Patriots? The Falcons or the Patriots? Producer Trina over here saying she believes the Falcons gonna win. Now she ain't care nothing about the Falcons till they beat Green Bay because she's Chicago. Satai is a history teacher. So much has been left out. You ain't lying. You definitely not lying. Lamont rides down. Now Mike is from the crib, but Mike is crossed all the way up on these Atlanta teams. I ain't mad at him because the games are fun. Falcons. Probably say Falcons. I don't even watch football. Lions never in my lifetime. You with the Patriots, Vanessa? I like Tom Brady because he's Michigan, but I'm going to just put it like this. My head says the Patriots because I just don't see them losing with 2 weeks to prepare. My heart would like to see the Falcons get it. I want to see the city be happy. Steph saying if Atlanta equals the Lions and they had to lead to the fourth quarter to lose it all, they'll lose on the very last play. Percy said if the Lions ever go, I'll walk to wherever they pay and spend my last for a ticket. Pat's going away. Patriots, bet my money, which I did do. I did bet on the Patriots. But, I wouldn't mind losing that money to see Atlanta win. If the Lions ever make it to the Super Bowl anywhere, I don't care if they play on the moon, I will be there for that. The last time they won something, man, my pops was in high school. It is what it is, y'all. Hey, it's been a great show. Share this. Tag 4 or 5 of your people. We trying to take it somewhere else. I know this was a little bit different tonight. A little more PG. Hit a little more topics. But we will have the Cardinal back in the flesh. Back in the flesh doing his thing, Hey, I love y'all, family. FSho Radio. Have a great night. It's time to inbox me so I can call. All right.